Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
This country. The bills are as follows. Bill number 1 of 2025, appropriation. Bill number 2 of 2025, supplementary appropriation, 2025-2026. Bill number 3 of 2025, taxation amendment. Bill number 4 of 2025, customs and excise amendment. Bill number 5 of 2025, value added tax amendment. And Bill number 6 of 2025, tax administration amendment. The third announcement is on the resolutions of the Business Committee. I wish to inform the House that the Business Committee met on Wednesday, 1st July 2026, to consider business of the House in preparation for this meeting of Parliament. Pursuant to Standing Order 156-1, and made the following resolutions. A, that all outstanding business from the previous meeting of Parliament should be carried forward to this meeting. The business items include a ministerial statement by the Honourable Minister of Transport and Public Works on the status of the inland water transport in Malawi. 17 constituency statements, response to a committee report on the statutory corporations and state enterprises on NIF, 2 petitions, and questions on notice to ministers for oral replies. With regard to questions and constituency statements, the Business Committee resolved that the Secretariat should contact the honourable members who had outstanding constituency statements and questions for them to indicate if their business items are still valid for this meeting of Parliament. In this regard, the members concerned are urged to accordingly advise the Secretariat if they have not yet done so. B, about new business. The Business Committee noted that so far the Office has received 6 statutory reports and 15 pieces of subsidiary legislation as new business. The Leader of the House informed the Business Committee that government will circulate new bills in the course of the meeting. In addition, committee reports will also be presented to the House once adopted by various committees. Let me urge Cabinet Ministers to ensure compliance with the 28 days notice in terms of new bills. The Business Committee also agreed on the program for this meeting as follows. A, during the first week of the meeting, the House will consider the following business items: ministerial statements, statutory reports, subsidiary legislation, committee reports, delegation reports, constituency statements, private members' motions and petitions, plus questions to ministers for oral replies. Whenever it becomes necessary, the Leader of the House may move a motion asking the House to resolve that questions should be taken on any other sitting days besides Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. B, in the remaining 3 weeks, the House will continue with deliberations on business items discussed in week 1. The Business Committee also agreed that during this period, the Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation should bring a ministerial statement on the status of Malawians who are coming back from South Africa following cases of xenophobic attacks, in order to give the honourable members an opportunity to deliberate on this matter. The House will adjourn sine die on Friday 31st July 2026. D. The Business Committee was briefed on the issue of e-chamber system. The committee was informed that the system is now ready for use by honorable members. I am sure that all honorable members have undergone a refresher course on the use of the system, which was conducted from 4th to 6th July 2026, and that honorable members are now ready to use the system. E. The Business Committee also discussed the issue of members' absenteeism during parliamentary meetings. The Business Committee noted with concern the continued absenteeism of some honorable members from committee and plenary meetings, despite those members having received allowances to attend the meetings. I wish to inform the House that my office is monitoring this development with keen interest, and I will be taking appropriate action against the perpetrators of this misbehavior. In this regard, let me urge honorable members to ensure that you attend all parliamentary meetings, and if you have any challenges preventing you from attending those meetings, you are always expected to seek leave of absence from my office through your party whips. May I also therefore appeal to all party whips to ensure that their respective members do attend parliament meetings and should report to my office all their members who do not adhere to this rule for me to take the appropriate action against those members. F. The Business Committee also noted with concern the tendency by some members who solicit external trips with the aim that my office should support them. In this regard, I wish to inform the House that from now onwards, my office will only support the budgeted parliamentary trips in line with austerity measures. On this note, I also wish to remind all honorable members to seek leave of absence whenever undertaking any international travel. Honorable members, let me take this opportunity to inform the House that my office has provided guidance regarding the planning and coordination of committee work. I have so far noted with concern the way committees have been organizing meetings with external stakeholders without following laid-down procedures. I have noted that increasingly committees have been communicating with stakeholders, announcing programs, and making preliminary travel arrangements before obtaining the approval from my office. Such practices create expectations that Parliament may subsequently be unable to fulfill, expose the institution to reputational risks, place unnecessary pressure on the Secretariat to regularize irregular processes, and undermine the coordinated planning and equitable allocation of resources across all committees. The authority of the Speaker to approve committee programs is not meant to frustrate committee work, but to ensure order, accountability, fairness, and the efficient conduct of parliamentary business. Honourable members, the concern I have is not necessarily about the engagements themselves, but with the procedure through which they are initiated and coordinated. In this regard, I wish to urge all honourable members, and particularly committee chairpersons, to ensure that no commitments are made to external stakeholders, nor any field visits or related engagements are arranged before seeking approval from my office. This guidance should not be construed as a restriction on the work of committees, but as a measure intended to bring greater order, consistency, and institutional discipline in the way committee business is conducted. My office remains fully committed to facilitate parliamentary work, including committee meetings, and I have utmost confidence that through our collective adherence to established procedures, we shall continue to strengthen the effectiveness of our oversight function and the credibility and dignity of Parliament. On this note, let me recognize and commend the chairperson, members and secretariat of the Public Accounts Committee with regard to good work on the inquiry of the sale of the Amaryllis Hotel. Let me also commend members and secretariat of the Ad hoc Committee on the Chikangawa plane crash inquiry on the work done so far, and I wish to encourage both committees and your respective secretariats to ensure that these inquiries are concluded timely and reports presented in this House. The Parliament TV has also done commendable work to open up the work of Parliament to the people for our population to follow the committee proceedings. I also wish to recognize the good work. Keep it up. Honourable members, this should be a lesson to the rest of the chairpersons of the committees. We have chairpersons of the Agriculture, Health, Education, Budget, Legal Affairs, Local Authority, just to mention a few. There is a lot going on out there that your committees can inquire about and assist government with recommendations. This is a wake-up call to you all to emulate the work being done in the two inquiries and elevate the work of your own committees in the service of our people. You are assured of the full support of my office in the conduct of inquiries by committees. Last but not least, I wish to inform the House that our Parliament has been honored to host the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA, for Africa region. The meeting will be held here in Lilongwe at the Bingu International Convention Center, BICC, from 9th to 16th August 2026. About 300 delegates, led by speakers, deputy speakers, and other leaders from all Commonwealth African parliaments, are expected to attend the meeting. This means that soon after the end of this meeting of Parliament, we will delve into the hosting of this very important meeting. Meanwhile, preparations are underway. You may wish to be informed that as your speaker, I am the current president of the CPA Africa region. You may also recall that as Parliament of Malawi, we have recently been chair of its executive committee until August 2025. Honourable members, this marks the end of my communication. However, let me ask members of the Business Committee to confirm on some of the issues I've announced, particularly on the resolutions made by the Business Committee, starting with the Leader of the House, followed by the Leader of Opposition. On a sad note, I wish to inform the House that during recess, we lost two former members of the House, Honorable Jones Chingola and Honorable Henry Mpofu Shawa. Honorable Jones Chingola served as the first Deputy Speaker of this House from 2009 to 2014, while Honorable Henry Mpofu Shawa served as a member of this House from 2014 to 2025. Let me request members to rise in honor of our departed colleagues. May their souls rest in peace. I will now request the Leader of the House and the Leader of the Opposition to confirm the resolutions of the Business Committee that I have communicated. Leader of the House.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I indeed rise to confirm that the communication that you've just made was indeed what transpired during the business committee that met last week, Wednesday. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Leader of Opposition.
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to confirm that what you've just announced here is what transpired during the business committee. Right Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition. Leader of the House, your guidance.
Right, Honorable Speaker, before I get into business of the day, allow me to join you in welcoming members back to the chamber. I hope very much that the folks that will be in this house will be beneficial to the people of this country. We have lots of important business that we need to discuss, that we need to tackle. I expect that each one of us will rise up to the occasion and do the best for the people of this country who deserve better. That said, I would like to move that the order paper be waived in order for us to tackle government business 3, ministerial statements, Roman numeral 2. The Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs to present a statement on the status of situation of Malawians living in South Africa. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Honourable members, as moved by the Leader of the House, we have a motion to waive the standing order in order the order paper in order to allow for a ministerial statement, as moved by the Leader of the House. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable members, let's answer with power. Thank you.
Government business. Government business. Item A, ministerial statements. The Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation to present a statement on the state of the situation of Malawians living in South Africa.
Thank you. Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, good morning. I rise before this august House to present a state report of government's facilitated voluntary repatriation of Malawian nationals from the Republic of South Africa, and also on the situation of Malawians in South Africa. This is following the outbreak of anti-migrant demonstrations and vigilante violence in that country, and to seek the support and resources of this House to sustain and to conclude the exercise in a manner that protects and preserves the dignity, safety, and security of our nationals affected by this crisis. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, the Republic of South Africa hosts the largest concentration of Malawian nationals outside our country. The majority of our compatriots there are employed in the informal sector and in the lower bracket of the labor force, in agriculture, construction, and retail. The majority of them reside in townships, farms, and informal settlements, often alongside South African citizens, a proximity that has historically rendered them vulnerable to anti-foreigner sentiment. The crisis that has unfolded since last April this year is the most severe to affect Malawians in many years. From late April 2026, organized vigilante groups, including one calling itself the March and March Movement, and later joined by Operation Dubula, and other local groupings, began threatening, physically attacking and displacing foreign African migrants across South African provinces. The Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal were the initial flashpoints. In St. Francis Bay, approximately 270 Malawians were given a 7-day ultimatum to vacate the area. In Harding Town, KwaZulu-Natal, 147 Malawian nationals were barred from their workplace for over a month, leaving many destitute and facing eviction. Unfortunately, a significant number of the affected nationals held expired travel documents or had none on them, and lacked the means to fund their own return home. By the end of May and through June, the violence had spread further to various areas in the Western Cape, Free State, and Gauteng provinces. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, as the situation escalated, the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, activated its emergency response plan. An interagency task team comprising officers from the department, my ministry, and the Ministry of Health and Sanitation was dispatched to the Republic of South Africa to augment the efforts of our mission in Pretoria and consulate in Johannesburg, which had been inundated with distress calls from affected nationals. Government of Malawi, through the Malawi High Commission in Pretoria, facilitated the repatriation of the first group of distressed nationals, 154 in number, from Mossel Bay in the Western Cape, who returned home on 8 June 2026. It is with a heavy heart, Mr. Speaker, sir, that I inform this House of the tragic loss of life directly connected to this crisis. On 5th May 2026, a bus carrying fleeing Malawians was involved in a fatal crash in the Motoko district, Zimbabwe, near the Nyamapanda border post, claiming 15 Malawi lives. On 7th May 2026, a passenger bus originating from Mzuzu, traveling through Limpopo province, South Africa, was involved in a fatal crash near Louis Church, in which 8 Malawians perished. Further fatalities have since been recorded among nationals in transit at the Nyamapanda and Mwanza border posts. Government facilitated the repatriation of the remains of the deceased and rendered support to survivors and bereaved families. In the case of the Louis Trichardt crash, the bus operator came in to bear the cost of the repatriation of the remains of the deceased nationals. Mr. Speaker, at this juncture, may I request the August House to rise and observe a minute's silence in honor of the departed nationals. Thank you. May their souls rest in peace. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, by early June, an estimated 10 to 15,000 Malawian nationals, many of them women and children, had gathered at a temporary shelter at Sherwood Hall in Durban, seeking assisted repatriation, even as South African authorities pursued parallel deportation proceedings through a dedicated fast-track court established in Durban. On 10th June 2026, nearly 1,000 Malawians were removed from the Lindela Repatriation Center by the South African authority in a single day. Confusion arising from the use of police vehicles and mandatory court appearances triggered unrest at the Sherwood camp on 17th June 2026, which was subsequently contained following clarification between our mission and South African authorities. I would like to report, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, that following sustained diplomatic engagement by the Malawi government and on the ground in South Africa by the Malawi High Commission through the South Africa Department of International Relations and Cooperation, On 19th June 2026, the South African Department of Home Affairs changed its approach from deportation to supported voluntary repatriation. Under this arrangement, our nationals are now only required to submit fingerprints and complete a simplified exit form without further court appearances. I should hasten to mention, Right Honourable Speaker, that the South African government has, out of its own volition, supported the voluntary repatriation process with buses to accelerate the process. The government has also, in an extraordinary manner, availed expertise and officers to expedite the fingerprinting, escort, and clearance process of the masses that are currently returning home. The government of Malawi, for its part, deployed approximately 55 buses to ferry returning nationals from the Mwanza border post, with receptions initially coordinated at Kamuzu Stadium in Blantyre, and since 25th June 2026 at Joyce Chisulo Stadium in Mwanza. I have been to both places to receive them and to assure the returns that they have returned home, and that this government will do everything. The government of Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika will do everything possible to ensure that they are received and they have something to do at home. However, I would like to mention that the responsive shift in the reception center from Kamuzu Stadium in Blantyre to the Mwanza Stadium, Joyce Chisulo Stadium, has enabled a faster turnaround of the processes, hence enabling our returning nationals to be processed faster upon reaching home. I should also acknowledge the support and assistance rendered by the various non-governmental and community organizations in South Africa, without which our nationals would have suffered more given the crisis conditions which they had to persevere. Here at home, government through DODMA has continued to receive support from corporate sector, individuals, and NGOs. I should also take this opportunity to thank a number of individuals and organizations who gave money to facilitate the speedy movement of the buses, or to the release of buses to bring the people here. At the appropriate time and upon reconciliation of the support received, the DODMA will inform the nation accordingly the assistance we received from the individuals concerned. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, let me inform this House that the number of nationals seeking assisted repatriation continue to rise, notwithstanding the numbers already processed. In recent weeks, a further dimension has emerged, with over 700 plus Malawians having crossed into Mozambique through informal routes ahead of the 30th June deadline set by vigilante groups, and are currently in Maputo awaiting onward repatriation. Our mission in Maputo reports an exponential increase in the number of nationals arriving from South Africa through this route. According to DODMA, as of July 2026, an estimated total of 30,000 nationals are reported to have returned home. I repeat, according to DODMA, as of 6 July 2026, an estimated total of 30,000 nationals are reported to have returned home. We are therefore indebted to the generous efforts of the government and people of Mozambique extended to our nationals at the hour of need. This has included food and emergency assistance, transportation, and security to the affected nationals. We shall forever remain grateful for this support. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, government's diplomatic response to this crisis has been robust and sustained as follows. Firstly, in May 2026, I personally, through my ministry, invited the South African High Commissioner to Malawi to convey government's grave concern and to call for the immediate protection of our nationals. Secondly, on 11th May 2026, in my capacity as chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense and security cooperation, I led a high-level consultative ministerial organ, Troika, engagement in Nairobi, Kenya, together with the United Republic of Tanzania and the Kingdom of Eswatini, and together we engaged with our South African counterpart to press on for a coordinated regional response to the crisis. Third, on 24th June 2026, I held a further bilateral engagement with Honored Ronald Lamola, MP, the South African Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, which secured South African commitment to stabilize the situation and to facilitate an orderly and dignified repatriation process. And fourth, His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, President of the Republic of Malawi, has also personally engaged His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa on this matter. Malawi is further consulting at this moment with the SADC organ Troika, with the concurrence of the Republic of South Africa, for SADC to undertake a structured engagement with South Africa on the developing situation in the SADC member state. Our missions in Pretoria, Maputo, and Harare, and consulates in Johannesburg and Tete remain in constant engagement with host authorities in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique to secure safe, dignified, and orderly transit of our returning nationals. In this regard, and as the country's chief diplomat, I would like to acknowledge the selfless efforts by our diplomatic representatives in the Republic of South Africa, the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the Republic of Mozambique for their sacrifices and very commendable work in support of their fellow citizens in distress. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, this crisis has exacted a heavy humanitarian toll. Women and children constitute a significant proportion of the affected population, and some pregnant women have given birth while in transit camps and on the tough journey back home. The influx of returnees has placed considerable strain on reception infrastructure at Mwanza and Blantyre, and on reintegration services in the national's home districts. Affected persons have lost livelihood and homes, in addition to the tragic loss of life already reported. And the psychological impact on returnees, including children, cannot be overstated. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this repatriation exercise has required significant and budgeted expenditure on transport, camp management, temporary reception, food, health, screening documentation, and reintegration support, for which neither the Department of Disaster Management Affairs nor my ministry holds a standing provision of this scale. I further would like to report that DODMA has submitted budgetary resource requirements for funding consideration to the Treasury in view of the dynamic situation of the crisis. DODMA is continuously engaging Treasury on this matter. I therefore would like to appeal to this Honorable House to consider and support the expeditious release of the resources required, and to note that our missions in Pretoria, Maputo, and Harare, our consulates in Johannesburg and Tete, and the reception point at the Maza border post all require additional personnel to cope with the volume of work generated by this crisis. In closing, Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, let me assure this august House that our government, through the Intercluster Repatriation Task Force, chaired by the Department of Disaster Management Affairs and comprising my ministers and other relevant institutions, remain fully seized of this matter and will continue to coordinate an end-to-end response until every Malawian national wishing to voluntarily return home has done so safely and with dignity. We remain grateful for the cooperation extended by the government of South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe throughout this exercise. Government will also develop an exit plan and a standing contingency framework to guide our response to similar emergencies in future, and will keep this House updated as the exercise progresses towards its conclusion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you all for your attention, and I look forward to the support of this honorable House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, for that statement. Indeed, as Parliament, we do sympathize with our fellow citizens who are meeting all these problems on their way from South Africa. Honourable members, I now open the floor. If you have questions, but I see Leader of Opposition. Over to you, Leader of Opposition.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, where is now, because it was this very morning that I was engaging the leadership from the government side, because I wanted also to come in, either using Standing Order 13. But however, I was assured by the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs that he would be presenting a statement that he has presented. So allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, that I add my voice on the statement that the Honorable Minister has presented before the House. I don't know whether I am audible. Hello.
Please, go closer to the mic and speak up, Leader. I need you to speak with power.
Like this? Hello, Honorable Speaker. Am I audible enough now? Right Honorable Speaker, I stand this morning, Honorable Speaker, very disappointed, wounded, and concerned by the continued xenophobic attacks in the Republic of South Africa, as highlighted by the Minister. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are disappointed because the very people who helped build South Africa are now being attacked, displaced, and told they do not belong there. But I would like to draw your attention, Right Honorable Speaker, and the House, number one, on our shared history and contribution. Right Honorable Speaker, from the year 1967 to 1990, this government had a program with the government of South Africa called TEBA, the Employment Bureau of South Africa. Malawians went to South Africa under this bilateral agreement, and our fathers and brothers worked in the gold mines of Watersrand in Johannesburg, Landfontein, Springs, Kruisberg, and in the gods of Free State and several other places in South Africa, including Mpumalanga. Their labor dug the gold that built Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Their sweat powered South Africa factories and railways. Their remittances back home built schools, clinics, and homes across Malawi. Not only did, Mr. Speaker, sir, we worked in mines. Mr. Speaker, sir, we built families. Malawians men married in South Africa, and they gave birth to South African grandchildren. And today, thousands of people of Malawians' descent were born in South Africa. Mr. Speaker, this is the only country some of them know as their home. Some of these Malawians by descent there, Mr. Speaker, sir, are serving in the political system. They are in civil service and private sector. And some of our own now occupy high positions in that country. To tell these citizens to go back to Malawi is a violation of their human right. We contributed the very seed, Right Honorable Speaker, that helped build and beautify South Africa. Right Honorable Speaker, we also stood with South Africa in its liberation struggle. Clement Kadari, for instance, one of our own from Malawi, assisted the African National Congress and was imprisoned on Robben Island for that cause. Right Honorable Speaker, one of the sons of this country, Honorable Yatuta Chisiza, hosted Oliver Tambo, one of the statesmen in South Africa, in the very same country during the apartheid era. Mr. Speaker, sir, we gave South Africa a refuge. We gave South Africa solidarity. Our blood is in South Africa's freedom. Therefore, we share quite a lot of history and contribution. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, I have a direct message to the government of South Africa. The House must speak plainly. If you listen to what the Honorable Minister has said this morning, you will see that our people are really suffering. 30,000 Malawi. A sovereign government cannot allow any group, however vocal it is, to become more powerful than the state and the rule of law. When mobs loot shops, ban property, and kill people, as we've heard, with impunity, it means the state is failing in its duty to protect life and property. Right Honorable Speaker, we must ask the government of South Africa directly, are you hiding behind xenophobic groups, or will you confront them? The Constitution of South Africa guarantees the rights of all people in that country, and that includes Malawians and all Africans. Honorable Speaker, let us also speak of reciprocity and fairness. Today, Right Honorable Speaker, South African companies operate freely and profitably in this country. Our banks, our shopping malls, money transfer services, transport companies, and many others are South Africa owned. They employ Malawians, of course, They serve Malawians, but they are protected by the Malawian law. Right, Honorable Speaker? So we ask, should we now tell our people to close these businesses here? The answer is no. We cannot respond hate with hate. Malawians will not do that because we believe in Ubuntu. But South Africans must understand that brotherhood and investment work both ways. Right, Honorable Speaker? You cannot enjoy our market, or they cannot enjoy our market while our people are being attacked. Number three, Right Honorable Speaker, human cost, our detaining brothers and sisters. I have really appreciated what has been included in the ministerial statement presented by the Honorable Minister this morning. The images that are coming from South Africa are very painful. Just last evening, I watched a clip, I think one of the MP's forums, where a young girl is actually complaining. And if you hear and listen to that clip, you would actually see that our people are in deep pains. Right, Honorable Speaker? Families are fleeing with only the clothes on their backs. Some are returning with young children who are entirely innocent, yet have become victims of scarcities they did not create. These children were born in South Africa. They speak African languages. They now find themselves stateless in their own minds. Right, Honorable Speaker? These returnees are not strangers. These are part of our society. They are Malawians, and we have a duty to receive them with dignity. My appeal to government, Right Honorable Speaker, is that, as the minister has already alluded to, arising from these issues I have raised and the minister has raised, we are appealing to the government of Malawi to act immediately and comprehensively as follows. Number one, diplomatic engagement, as he has already said, to summon the South African High Commission and send a high-level delegation to Pretoria immediately to demand protection for Malawians still in South Africa and compensation for those who have lost property and livelihoods. Number two, the National Resettlement Program. We need to establish a task force under the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, and the Ministry of Homeland Security to provide land for settlement, temporary housing, and transport from the border to home districts. Number three, cushioning measures. We need to provide immediate food and non-food items, free health care for returnees, fast-track school placement for their children, psychosocial support and startup grants for traders and artisans. Number four, data and documentation. We need to work with chiefs and consuls to register all returnees so that no one is left behind. Number five, regional action. Just as alluded to in the ministerial statement, we need to push through SADC and the African Union for a regional protocol that criminalizes xenophobia and protects migrant workers and their families. Honorable Speaker, we must budget for this. We must treat this as a national emergency. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, I will talk about One Africa. As I have always indicated in this House, that I promote one Malawi, one people, and one nation. That is extended globally, but also regionally. Honorable Speaker, Africa will not develop if we fight each other. Our borders were drawn by colonial imperialists, but our blood and our marriages, our labor, and our struggle are intertwined, as I have indicated about Yatuta Caesar and Clement Kadari. Right, Honorable Speaker, South Africa must remember that Malawi helped build it. Malawi married into it, and Malawi hosted its leaders during their time of need. Malawi is part of South Africa, and therefore South Africa must respect us, and Malawi in turn must embrace its own. Right, Honorable Speaker, in the spirit of one people, one continent, and one Africa, I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition. Honourable members, remember that it's questions and observations, not debate. Let me recognize cool. Honorable members, let me recognize Lilongwe Likuni and Lilongwe Mpenu. Get ready after Lilongwe Likuni.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for recognizing the great people of Lilongwe constituency. I stand with a heavy heart with the issue that is happening in South Africa. Mr. President Cyril Ramaphosa must be remembered that the headquarters of Umkhonto we Sizwe was in Zambia. Zambia played a very big role to liberate South Africa. He must be remembered. To me, Lilongwe constituency, I see that it's a state-organized xenophobia because the police are watching those people, they are moving with those people, and it simply means that the president is involved because the police are representing the state. Those people, they are chasing black people, but you see that the white people, they're still there. The same white people, they are the people who get the land of South Africa by genocide. So I urge the government to summon South Africa. We can even stop importing anything from South Africa because it needs action. With these few remarks, I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Lilongwe Likuni, for your views. Let me now recognize, I had already recognized, is it Lilongwe? Was it Lilongwe Mpenu? Yes, please proceed, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, sir, let me take this opportunity to thank you for granting the people of Lilongwe Mpenu an opportunity to make a contribution to the subject on the table. Mr. Speaker, sir, our people in South Africa are facing a situation that is very, very deplorable. And let me commend the action being taken by government at the moment, though the good could have been better, and the action being taken by individuals like Onjezan Kenani to ease the problems that our people are facing. Mr. Speaker, sir, in order to appreciate the magnitude of the problem at hand, one needs to understand the gross national product formula, GNP. When you look at the gross national product formula, you understand the economic contribution our brothers and sisters that are facing the tragedy today are having. If we take the figure of 30,000 Malawians that are facing the assisted repatriation, as it has been termed, and then you assume that each one of them is making a contribution of 10,000 rands in a year. That's a lot of money, Mr. Speaker, sir. Although these people are being employed in the lowest of the economic ranks, but their contribution to Mother Malawi cannot be underrated. The more reason why all of us need to be concerned with what is happening. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, sir, when you look at the historical background of the nation of South Africa, that today other nationals are being chased like dogs. Like it was stated when South Africans were fighting the apartheid regime, all African countries rallied behind them to fight the apartheid regime. As a matter of fact, Malawi's contribution cannot be underrated. As the leader of opposition stated, Clement Kadali, a Nkatabe-born Malawian, was the founder of the trade union in South Africa and the first general secretary. And it was that trade union that laid the foundation for the ANC. There is a reason why the late former President Nelson Mandela first visited Malawi when he came out of prison. It was to appreciate the contribution Malawi made to the struggle. And Malawi is not an isolated case. When you talk about Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Tanzania, and other African countries, they all made contribution to the struggle. Of course, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not to justify illegal migration. The point here is to advance all of us as Africans to embrace each other and acknowledge the fact that the boundaries that we have today were made by our colonizers. And moving forward, Mr. Speaker, sir, we need to work towards one Africa. Africa that will embrace each other. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is sad that today we should be talking about fellow Africans or Africans hating fellow Africans. That said, Mr. Speaker, sir, this tragedy underscores one thing: the need for us here back home to find a long-lasting solution, economic solution, or a solution to the problems our people are facing. We must work collectively. We must put our heads together to create an economic environment that will not force our people to go beyond the borders. That begins with the political leadership to make sure that we work towards an economic environment that supports everybody in this country and that makes sure that people do not see the need for them to leave but stay here in Malawi. It is quite sad that you are hearing innuendos coming from the background. But Mr. Speaker, sir, I must emphasize that we are facing a crisis, and that crisis requires all of us to hold hands to make sure that we provide an environment to our people that will make them forget the sad story that they have faced in South Africa. Mr. Speaker, sir, I submit.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lilongwe Mpenu. It is an issue that we need to talk and discuss further, but looking at my time, it is health break. And when we return, I wanted to recognize Zimba North to be the first speaker. When we return at 11:20, House suspended.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.